A 70,000 signature petition has been circulated for Police Minister Bheki Cele to go. And the momentum for calls for his resignation seems to be gathering volume. The latest comes from research and lobby group Accountability Now, who says the call is at least a decade in the making, as the minister and one-time police commissioner lives a life of impunity. Hoffman SC is a director of Accountability Now and joins us on The Full View to share their position on why the minister must go. Paul, welcome to the program. You have a laundry list of complaints against the minister. Just share your top gripes with us.
Yes, I think your intro is on the money. The impunity arises from the fact that Mr. Cele has allowed himself to become involved in illegal activities at a time when the state capture project of the Zuma administration was in full swing. And as a consequence of that, the findings of the public protector in her Against the Rules and Against the Rules 2 reports, the findings of the Malloy Board of Inquiry, which found him to be dishonest and incompetent, and the recommendation of that Board of Inquiry that the appropriate authorities should investigate him for corrupt activities relating to those famous police headquarter leases that were negotiated prior to the Soccer World Cup in 2010. So, yes, the problem has been 10 years in the making, and he hasn't made it any better recently. You would have seen in the press that Francina Vuma, who is a top police person, has complained to the media that he is still favoring certain contractors for the largesse of the police, and behaves in a manner that has absolutely no relation to his obligations as a cabinet minister. Why he is in the cabinet when there is a finding that he is dishonest and incompetent really beggars belief.
So, Paul, you've just mentioned those scandals he's faced, the findings by former public protector Thuli Madonsela in relation to the leasing scandal that cost him his National Police Commissioner position. It was never picked up by the NPA, and you've referenced the Malloy report into the matter as well. But Minister Cele would say, until and unless those processes are complete and their merits established, I have the right to stay in place. How would you answer that?
Yes, well, he's applying the test of a person facing criminal charges, which is a presumption of innocence, to the suitability for being in cabinet. There is a finding that he is dishonest and incompetent, and that finding is well grounded. It is borne out by what is the product of the research at the University of Stellenbosch and the Institute for Security Studies. It's borne out by the fact that Mr. Cele himself has never shaped as a police minister. He got fired by Jacob Zuma when he was commissioner, but he resurfaced as a politician and as a deputy minister in no time at all. And he has been allowed to infest the cabinet of the Ramaphosa administration as Minister of Police. And we only have to look around us at the insurrection last year, at all of the nightclub and tavern shootings that are going on at the moment, to see that the police are not on top of the job. He believes in the militarization of the police and persists with that program, even though the National Development Plan said urgently demilitarize the police, and the Marikana Commission of Inquiry echoed that, said it is urgent that we demilitarize the police.
Yeah.
The problem is that we are meant to have a police service, not a police force.
Yeah. In closing, Paul, I want to ask about, the fact that and I'm going to use this, as a metaphor, your gun your weapon is locked and loaded, and you've trained your sights on Bheki Cele. The reality is that he serves, as all ministers say, I serve at the pleasure of the president. This is someone who, after that very, ignominious history that you've just, relayed to us and shared with us again, has resurfaced in this form, and that is, perhaps, a question that should be directed then at the president, and criticisms made of why this minister, whose history is as problematic as you described, thrives in this current position.
Yes, I'm afraid he's not the only one. You think of Malusi Gigaba committing perjury. You think of Fikile Mbalula taking his holiday at the expense of a tenderer in the sports department space. All of that sort of thing. I think the only one who's ever been punished out of the recent cabinet ministers is Batabile Dlamini, and she was found guilty of perjury. So what we have, I don't foresee the Ramaphosa administration having the necessary fortitude to get rid of Cele. What we are doing at Accountability Now is putting pressure on the National Prosecuting Authority, and that pressure has been in place since 2020 to formulate charges and to hold him to account. But as you will have seen from the piece that made you invite me onto your program, we've had absolutely no joy and still not. I can bring you up to date on the story. I have heard nothing from Andrea Johnson. I've heard nothing from Shamila Batoy. I've had fobbings off by others.
Okay. Paul, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us, and the next steps with regard to the call for the police minister to either be removed or to step down. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.